What's up, baby? All right, boys and girls, we're off our meds yet again, and today we're going to talk about a couple things. I want to talk about all-in mentality, and if you want to being about it. I want to talk about like a holistic business and this word business balance or like work-life balance. I want to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about police-grade tasers, one of my favorite things. We'll talk a little bit about sleep, and we'll talk a little bit about making money on social media. So hopefully we're just gonna have fun, and we're gonna go wherever we need to go. First thing that I just want to start this conversation with is this concept of if you want to be about it, be about it. Just be about it. This is something that I've learned is I really like being a Renaissance man. I really enjoy being interested in a lot of different things and having curiosity about a lot of different topics. Now, something that comes with being a Renaissance man and trying all these different things is there's two different ways to try something new. You can try something new like an amateur, or you can try something new like a professional. So I want to tell you guys a little story about this, and then we'll go off on schizo rants about other shit. When I was about 14 years old, I decided to switch from skiing, I grew up skiing, to snowboarding. And I was never a great skier. I mean, I could ski blues and blacks, but not comfortably, and I just wasn't excited to be on skis. So when I started snowboarding, I had a very close friend of mine. His name was Jack, and Jack was a very good snowboarder. And on my first day on a snowboard, I literally couldn't make it down the hill. And so on my second day snowboarding, I finally made it down the green and just learned how to stand up and ride my board down the hill. I could just balance. And Jack said, okay, great. Now that you can make it down the hill, we're going to go do a black from the very top of the mountain. We're not going to do the bunny hill. We're not going to go up the first gondola. Now that you know how to get down the hill, we're going to go to a black. And the reason Jack was pushing me way past my comfort zone, way past my ability level into something far beyond that is so that I could get familiar and I could get comfortable being in the unknown. So I could get comfortable doing things that were new to me, doing things that were past my growth edge. And doing that forced me to get better, and it forced me to take snowboarding way more seriously. And lo and behold, by the end of my very first season on a snowboard, I could ride switch. I was just being a schizo on the snowboard. And that's because, and maybe kids are better at that because kids perceive lower consequence for our actions. So we're more willing to jump into things. And maybe as adults or as we get older, we get scared of that, right? We start to like second guess things and psych ourselves out and be more timid and half-assing, right? We put one toe in the water. And I think as we get older, I see more and more of that where we become less committal and we're more hesitant to actually dedicate ourselves to getting shit done. And I think that's very dangerous, right? The unwillingness to radically change who you are and how you show up in this world. When I was 19 years old, I decided I didn't want to be pothead that watched anime every single day. So I said, fuck it, I'm going to be an Iron Man.
I am Iron Man.
I'm literally gonna become the opposite of my current identity. And that required 20 to 30 hours of exercise and training every single week, on top of meal planning and preparation, on top of having a coach and a plan and signing up for an Ironman. I had to radically transform my life. I couldn't smoke pot and watch anime and be a successful triathlete. And adapting that mindset in business, that mentality change, I have found to be extremely empowering. And it's sneaky because it's something that you consciously have to continuously adapt into. It's like, let me frame shift who I see myself as to fit and match the context of what I am choosing to create in my life. So for context, right now it's 10:45 on a Friday night and I live downtown Austin, Texas. I have no shortage of social life or women I could be around or opportunities to be out and having a lot of fun. And I'm chosen to be about it. Right now I've chosen, I want to create content. I want to build a online audience. I want to build a community of people, a brotherhood, a sisterhood, just an environment, a family on the internet, the same way that I have in person, where people feel like they can connect and talk to each other, and it's an open and awesome environment. And so I'm about it. I'm dedicated to doing this and having these conversations and making this video way more so than I'm dedicated to going out to the Powder Room or Soho House for Latin night. Like, I have all these events I could be doing. I'd rather be here right now shooting this, especially because I procrastinated all week. So maybe I wasn't all the way about it, but here we are. So also take note, I'm talking to myself. I'm not trying to preach from up on high. Yeah, so that's something that I think is super important, is understanding what are you committed to, and if you want to be about it, be about it. Sorry, if you want to make money on social media, well, are you fucking showing up? Are you getting on camera? Are you actually making and crafting your offer and pitching it to your audience? Or are you procrastinating and working on a bunch of meaningless shit? Like, just food for thought here. Just saying. Something I didn't bring up in the beginning that kind of ties into this is frame control. And something that I really want to highlight, especially for people that maybe like don't have an audience, or you're younger, you're just kind of dialing in, something that you should really understand is this concept of framing yourself and positioning. Then there's a lot of really powerful organizations that crush at this, and it's something that I think a lot of early entrepreneurs and maybe even more established business owners should keep in mind, especially with social media, that the appearance of the thing is more often as impactful as the actual thing, right? It's the great mirage in the desert. And this is something I've been kind of learning and leaning into recently, is positioning, right? Frame control. And so what this looks like is it's how you show up, right? The other day I showed up to a business meeting with one of our high-end clients, one of our VIP partners, and I told them when I would pick them up, and I showed up well prepared and freshly showered, and we went to a restaurant and we talked about business. They're very impressed by that. And I could have very easily shown up straight from the gym without my car. I could have been there earlier, right? So I could have been at an increased convenience, but at the cost of my presentation, at the cost of how I actually chose to show up. If we're going to be about something, we should actually be about something, right? So it's like, if I am choosing that I want to date a woman, then I'm going to show up and make sure that I'm about it. One, I'm going to take it seriously. And number two, I'm going to show up and set the right expectations, set the right experience, the right frame. So I'm going to pay for the meal. I'm going to make sure that I have the plans and the decisions lined out so she doesn't have to be confused or going back and forth making decisions. I want to make sure that I have, safe, controlled environment so she's not at risk or I put her in any kind of danger. I want to make sure that we have fun and we laugh and I have conversation topics. Just something to think about, right? Show up. I don't smell like shit. I don't look like shit. Just an idea. It's like, oh, I can't get a girlfriend, but I don't shower before I go on a date. Or, oh, I don't even ask girls on dates. Like, what a concept. Maybe take your life a little bit more seriously. Something to think about. Yeah, and then it's like this whole thing. You want to be about it and you want to be intentional about how you show up and all that. I'm not going to tell you that you need to be a millionaire with 100,000 followers on Instagram, with a six-pack and a supermodel girlfriend. Like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that everybody's definition of success is the same. This is something that I've been thinking about a lot recently, is like, why am I doing the things that I'm doing, right? It's like, why am I hosting a Bible study, or why am I journaling? Why am I meditating? Why am I reading? Why am I optimizing my life? And I think the opportunity with digital entrepreneurship, whether you're day trading or running an info program or appointment setting for someone or creating a paid ad agency, I have successful friends in everything from paid communities to info products to masterminds to trading to building software and being a developer to in-person communities. So I do believe you can be successful in anything. And then the decision is what most closely matches the life that you want to create for yourself, right? It's like, do you want to be an F1 photographer that gets paid to go film F1 events? Or do you want to share tools and inspire and support others? Or do you want a lifestyle business? Or do you want to develop code and go try shit, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks? But the opportunity with today's digital entrepreneurship is like creating a life optimized around the things that you want, right? It's like, there's a reason that, we flex the cars and the spring water and the going on adventures on like that one homie on an average Tuesday afternoon, like canoeing through the Amazon jungle. Like, there's a reason why that stuff is so fun. And it's because it's a definition of one's own internal success metrics, right? It's like, my success is going to look totally different than someone else's. And so it's like the cars, the watch, the women, the fitness, whatever those things are, those are like universal material representations of success. And remember, those things are empty without meaning, right? It's like, bought a brand new M2, it's a manual transmission, it's rear wheel drive. The thing is absolutely bonkers to drive. I can't believe I haven't gone to jail yet. That's not an admission of guilt for anybody watching. I've only driven it in Mexico. But anyways, the reason I bought this M2 is not because I want to flex it on the internet, which is why I haven't talked about the car. It's because I love driving cars and driving manual cars and just having fun in a car. It's one of my favorite things to do. And so just a reminder, right? It's like, if you want to be about it, and make sure that you're choosing your own definitions of success, right? It's like, the reason I'm such a huge advocate for building a business on social media, for building a high ticket, if you already have a high ticket service-based business, or building a high ticket service-based business where your sales system is on social media. The reason I love social media as as a sales mechanism is because it creates so much freedom, right? It unlocks so much leverage because now I can do all of my hiring, I can do all of my sales and recruitment, and I can do all of my market research in one place here on social media simply by building an audience. And not only all of that, but I have the flexibility to try something totally new, right? So it's like I build an audience on social media. Let's say I need a videographer while I'm traveling. I can find that on social media. Let's say I want more clients for my business. I can find that in my audience. But let's say like I want to host like a 5 a.m. workout here in my community. I can also fill that on social media. That's why all of these big influencers are talking about how building a brand online is going to create the next level of billionaires, right? Because it's like, even if it isn't financial billions, it's like holistic or comprehensive billions, right? Like the amount of advantages of building a personal brand for your business and using a personal brand as a sales mechanism is absolutely ridiculous. It's absurd. Yeah. And so it's like, I'm going to advocate for that. That's something that's really important to me. And you also have to understand that there's drawbacks to that, right? It's like I'm sacrificing or I'm choosing to lose something called privacy because I want to be out there, because I want all those advantages. And so it's like, what are you willing to trade, right? You have to understand every single decision you make has a consequence, right? A decision, the root of the word decision is literally to separate, to split, like scissors, right? So when you make decisions, you separate. There's good and there's bad. And so you have to understand it's like, okay, well, let's say I want a very healthy or crazy physique. It's like, oh, I want a six pack. I want fitness. Well, if you want those things, if that's your definition of success, then number one, you got to be about it and actually follow through and be a man or a woman of your word and choose to actually honor what you say that you want. Otherwise, you're just lying to yourself. But you also have to understand that comes with consequence. And the consequences of that is you have to be intentional about the food that you put in your body. You have to be intentional with activity levels and what you're actually doing to physically engage with your body. So yeah, it's just silly, man. You know, like this whole rant today is really about this thing of like, don't let anybody else tell you what you should and shouldn't do. The only time it's like, okay, I should get a mentor, I should be influenced by someone else is not what you want. It's not how you should want things or why you should want things. Only time you should ever like listen to someone is like a faster way to get there, a more effective way to get there, right? So it's like we're about to scale really aggressively with paid ads in our company. And I have a friend who spent $200 million on paid ads. And so abso-freaking-lutely am I going to ask him, what are some lessons you've learned spending $200 million in ads that I should be applying to grow my business more successfully? I've got another friend who sold his company for over $100 million and it was a financial advisement company. I'm totally going to go ask him about how I should be managing my bookkeeping better. Like don't be stupid, right? Like ask for advice from the people around you, but make sure it's something you want to. And that's something that I think at any level of business or any level of success, it's like if you're working a 9 to 5 for 50 grand a year, or you have a company that's doing $500,000 a day, regardless of what number is tied to your bank account, it's not your worth. And well, what does success really mean to you, right? It's like I've met so many people who make millions of dollars who are empty inside because they are working 70 hours a week, doing something that they absolutely hate. And all they really want to do is fish on a lake. I have a friend who makes $5,000 a month and all he does is climb around in the mountains and go fishing. And he loves his life. Is that going to have consequences later on in life? Debatable, right? Like I think that there's understanding and nuance and balance, but I'm not going to define what success looks like for him. I'm going to define what success looks like for me, right? And we see this whole like old money aesthetic on TikTok and people actually wanting to build generational wealth for their family. I think that's honorable, right? It's like, okay, if success looks like to you old money wealth, building something that actually lasts, building a business that matters and not just being a predatory businessman, right? Being a man of your word in business and building a business that retains customers and isn't just taking advantage of the people around you, both internally as employees and externally as clients. So it's like, okay, I want to build an impact-driven business that's financially established, that provides for me and my family for years to come. If that's what you want to build and that's what success looks like, then go find people that can actually teach you how to do that, right? It's like, or I want to build a profitable personal brand. I want to build an online influence. I want to build a community and a digital audience that not only is engaged and loyal to me, but is also engaged and loyal to each other. Then actually go find someone that knows how to do that and work with them too, right? It's like find experts in the thing that you want to do, but nobody can define success except for you. And I think it's so easy, right? It's like, it's so easy to put someone else's tag on of what success looks like. Yeah, but it really does. Two things I would disclaimer on setting your own definitions of success is you don't know until you try. That's advice I've gotten from multiple successful people is be cautious and be aware that you will not know if you actually genuinely enjoy something until you actually put your heart and soul into it, right? It's like, go give the new project or the new girlfriend or the new fitness regimen 3 months of like 110% effort. And after 110% effort for 3 months, if you can look back on 3 months and ask yourself, did I do everything within my power? Did I try my absolute hardest? And did I enjoy it, right? Is this something I want to continue doing? I think that's a fair thing to do after 3 months, 6 months, a year, but giving it the old college try doesn't count, right? So go try new things, be experimental, especially if you're trying to figure out what success looks like to you. That's advice for everybody, honestly. Like, even if you already have success in one area. The other disclaimer I want to caveat, and we're going to bring back the police taser for this, is your environment. What environment do you have? A trap that I got stuck in for a very, very long time is this trap of believing that what I was doing wasn't working. I was thinking, oh, my business doesn't work, or, oh, I need to change this, or I need to give up on this. And the reality was, I was putting myself in a toxic environment where I was staying up all night, I'm binge watching TV, I'm scrolling on social media, I'm watching porn, I'm drinking alcohol, I'm numbing myself, I'm smoking a vape. Like, I have a little vape that's like a binky. What I realized I was doing is I was completely draining myself of any opportunity to find fulfillment and enjoyment in the things that I actually wanted to do. And so it's like, I wanted to get in shape and I wanted to have a successful business that was purpose driven and impact driven. But then I'm spending every ounce of happiness chemicals. I want to have a significant relationship in my life. And then I realized that I'm spending all of these happy chemicals, all of my dopamine and serotonin on nicotine, on social media, and on junk food. And so it's like, of course, after eating a bunch of Uber Eats food, sucking on a nicotine stick, and watching TV until 4 a.m, of course, the next day, all day long, I'm going to feel like my life doesn't matter and that my relationships are empty and that my business is insignificant. Of course, because I've just literally drained any opportunity I had to make all those things significant. And so make sure, like, before you shut down or give up on the thing that you once thought was your dream, whether it's the fitness or the finances or the relationship or anything else, the friendships, the family life, before you give up on those things, make sure you've given up on the things that could be holding you back from getting there. So what I've done is I've created a community around me, and trust me, I'm still working on this. Like, I still have bad days. But what I'm working on is I'm creating community and I'm creating an environment where those things don't happen anymore. And so I've put systems in place to help me get up in the morning, to make sure I'm up at a certain time and be consistent with that. I've put systems in place with my community and with my social circle, with my friends, that if I don't follow through on the things that I say I want to do, well, guess what? That's a tase. So if I told you I'm going to deliver a project by 5 p.m. and I don't, if I told you I'm going to meet you at the gym at 6 a.m. and I don't, if I told you I'm going to send you some money for groceries, but I don't, it's a tase, right? It creates an environment where I get to be a man of my word. The opportunity is for me to be a man of my word. Yeah, pretty simple stuff. I don't want to go on too long, but just basics. Like, if I had to summarize everything that I've just talked about for the last 20 minutes, it's like, you have to be willing to go all in on the things that you say you want. Otherwise, you're lying to yourself. I guess let's go in order. Eliminate anything in your environment that could be blocking you from having the things you want. Take the time to intentionally set your targets and choose that which you actually desire. And then once you have, like, create an environment, foster an environment that empowers you to do those things, and then don't half-ass it, whole-ass it. Put your whole ass in the cake. Like, actually take it seriously, because you could spend the next 5 years of your life working out inconsistently and eating healthy inconsistently and still look like shit. Or you could spend the next 1 year of your life and take it extremely seriously, work out religiously, track your food religiously, and be in impeccable shape. And then it's easy to maintain because you've beaten the plateau of resistance. You've beaten the plateau, like the pit of despair, right? It's the part of the journey that nobody gets through, because it's the part where you just have to continue to sow seeds without seeing results, right? It's a biblical principle. You reap what you sow. As simple as just focus on the inputs, the quality of the input, fuck the outcome, because you just have to focus on quality inputs, and put yourself in an environment where you're encouraged to focus on those inputs, and make sure you're putting inputs towards the thing that you actually want. Wow, you're still here. Well, thanks so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, go ahead and don't forget to like and subscribe. I know everybody has to say it, but I guess it supports the channel. My commitment to you is to consistently create content. Now, I'm not going to be the judge of whether it's good content or not, but hopefully you find it valuable. And if you are looking to build a profitable personal brand, if you're looking to scale your high-ticket business with social media, we've done it for countless amounts of clients. We've gotten some insane results. All I want you to do is either book a call with me in the link down below in the description of this video, or just send me a DM on Instagram. My username on Instagram is @TheHarrisonColey. DM me right there on Instagram. Tell me, hey, I came from your YouTube. Let's talk about some shmoney, baby. Get your money up, not your funny up. Get your money up, not your funny up. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.